Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at factorising algebraic expressions. So far up until now, you've been looking at expanding expressions, so essentially getting rid of brackets. And now today we're going to be looking at factorising, which is forming brackets. So you can see by this little diagram here, we've been doing from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. So 2 times x and then 2 times -3 makes 2x minus 6. The question now is, what if you're given 2x minus 6? How do we factorize it? Okay, so if I have something like this, so x bracket 4x plus 8, when we expand it, we get 4x squared plus 8x. There's other ways, other things we can do, or other products, I suppose, that we can multiply to get this answer as well. So, for example, we might have, let's see, I might have this one, 4x bracket x plus 2. If I expand this, I get the same answer. So 4x times x is 4x squared plus 4x plus 2, which is 8x. So there's lots of other things. So it's essentially like saying, I can multiply to get, say, the number 6. I could multiply 1 times 6. I can also multiply 2 times 3. They all equal 6. So you can do the same thing with these kind of algebraic ones. So just for the sake of it, some other examples might be 2x squared plus 4x. And also we might have, let's see what I wrote down here, 2x and then 2x plus 4. If we expand all these, they'll get that 4x squared plus 8x. So that's the point of that. So there is always more than one answer. However, we always want to find the highest common factor if possible. So if we're looking for a highest common factor of 4x squared and 8x, there's a pretty methodical way of doing it. Just look at the numbers first and then look at the letters. So if we look at the numbers 4 and 8, we list the factors. So we've got 1, oh, hang on, I forgot 2. So 1, 2, and 4, and the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. And your highest common factor here is 4. So our number is 4. Then look at the letters. So we've got x and x squared. So we've got basically x times x, and then x times x. So your highest common factor is x. And so, the highest common factor of 4x squared and 8x is 4x. So let's do a few more examples. So we want to determine the highest common factor of the following. So 6a and 8ab. So let's just deal with the number 6 and 8. Our highest common factor will be, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 6, and then 8. You've got 1, 2, 4, 8. Yep. So our highest common factor is 2. And then look at the letters. What do they have in common? There's another way to look at it. So we've got A and B. So we've got 2. The A's are in common. Okay. Next one, 3x squared and 6xy. So look at 3 and 6. Our highest common factor is 3. X squared and 6xy. Now remember, x squared is x times x, except there's only one x in this one. So our highest common factor is just 3x. All right, so next bit, we want to factorize the following. So the steps to do this is you need to find the highest common factor of your two terms first. Then you need to divide that by divide that highest common factor by each term. So HCF divided by, actually I should do it the other way around. It's the term divided by the HCF. So then term divided by HCF. Okay, highest common factor. So let's work out the highest common factor first. So we're at 40 and minus 16b. This is the way to set it out. So let's have a look at 40 and 16. Should be 8. Years of practice, kids. So our highest common factor of 40 and 16 is 8. Looking at the letters, there is nothing in common, so it's just 8. So we then go 40 divided by 8, which is 5. Then 16 minus 16b divided by 8. Now you can do it in your head, or if you want, just for the first few times, just do it on the side. So negative divided by positive is negative. 16 divided by 8, you can cancel that down even, makes 2b. So that's what you write in the bracket. So minus 2b. And there you go. I factorized it. Okay. Next one. So minus 8x squared minus 12x. So let's look. When you have a negative at the start of your first term, make your common factor negative. It makes it a lot easier. So negative now 8 and 12. Highest common factor of the numbers will be 4. We've got x squared and an x. So just an x will be your common factor. Now, then we want to work out what's in the bracket. So this is when writing it will be handy. So minus 8x squared divided by minus 4x. Do a bit of cancelling. Negative divided by negative is positive. 8 divided by 4 is 2. X squared divided by x. So we can cancel one of the x's, and then we're just left with x. So the first term is 2x. Then we've got minus 12x, and we'll divide that by minus 4x. So that's positive. 12 divided by 4 is 3. X cancels with x, so it's just positive 3. Okay, and there you go. It's factorized. And you can check it by expanding it. So minus 4x times 2x. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. X times x is 8x squared. Negative times positive is negative. 4 times 3 is 12, and x. And you can see it matches that. So that's a quick way to check it as well as the answers in your book. All right, this next one is interesting. We've got two terms, but they've got their own little brackets in there. All right, so you can see that's your first term and that's your second term. You can also see that they've got something in common already. They've got this x plus y in common. So what we actually do is we say that's the common factor, and then we look at what's left over. So imagine so we've used those two. Oops, make it a bit smaller. And then what's left? We've got 3 plus x. So essentially this is our common factor, and then this is what's left over. So you can see that, yeah, it's pretty similar, except the bracket's the first one. Next one and last one, this one we've got 7 minus 2x is our first one, and then minus x bracket 7 minus 2x. So the 7 minus 2x is in common. Excuse me. Where did that come from? Now, sorry. Now from here, there's also, if there's nothing in front of a bracket, we know that there's a 1 times that. So we're going to use that to help us factorize this one. So we've got 7 minus 2x as our common factor, highest common factor. Then once that gets cancelled out, we're left with just a 1 and then minus x. So you can see that that's, those last two, it's just a matter of identifying they've got brackets in common and then cancelling them out and then writing what's left. So yeah, you're going to have a go at 8D today. So I'm going to go get a drink and take your time with working it out. Finding the highest common factor does take a bit of practice and getting used to. Okay, good luck.